There's an irony. Today, Democrats love to beat their chest and say they are defending democracy. And yet, all across the country, we see Democrat courts and Democrat officials who have been trying to throw Donald Trump off the ballot.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a critical topic that has been making waves in the political world, voter ID laws. We're going to break down the recent arguments by Ted Cruz and how he's exposing the opposition to requiring voter ID for elections. Ted Cruz makes a compelling argument that requiring a government-issued ID to vote isn't racist, it's just common sense. Think about it. You need an ID to drive, to board a plane, to open a bank account, pretty much anything you do as an adult in this country. So why should voting be any different? Cruz is saying that making sure every vote is tied to a real, verifiable person is just part of keeping our elections fair and secure. One of the most striking points Cruz makes is his accusation of what he calls the soft bigotry of low expectations. He's talking about how some Democrats argue that Black Americans are less likely to have IDs and therefore voter ID laws are discriminatory. Cruz finds this argument not just wrong, but offensive. He believes it's insulting to assume that Black Americans can't or won't obtain an ID. For him, this is a clear example of how low expectations can be just as harmful as overt discrimination. So grab a seat, because this is something you won't want to miss.
Today, Democrats are not interested in election integrity. They are interested in power. Power by any means necessary. And so the Democrats' focus is on controlling elections and controlling the outcome. There's an irony. Today, Democrats love to beat their chest and say they are defending democracy. And yet, all across the country, we see Democrat courts and Democrat officials who have been trying to throw Donald Trump off the ballot. Because nothing protects democracy like preventing the voters from voting for your opponent. When the Colorado Supreme Court decision came down stripping the voters of Colorado of the right to vote for President Trump, I said that day the decision would be reversed by the U.S. Supreme Court, and I said it would likely be reversed unanimously. It was reversed unanimously. I invite anyone in this room to point to even one prominent Democrat who criticized that baldly anti-democratic power grab. And not only Colorado, but Maine and Illinois stood up and said, we hate democracy and we will not let the voters vote for our opponent. In the Supreme Court, I led a brief on behalf of 179 members of Congress arguing that Colorado's actions striking President Trump's name from the ballot were unconstitutional and that they endangered democracy. You know who didn't join that brief? Even a single Democrat. Because when it comes to democracy, today's Washington Democrats have zero interest in the voters actually deciding. What they're interested in is anything that maintains Democrat power. And what they oppose is anything that creates even a tiny window that the voters might choose to vote for somebody else. Today, Democrats are pushing a bill that has many terrible provisions. But let's cut to the heart of it. This bill would institute two types of pre-clearance. Pre-clearance for everyone Democrats don't like, and pre-clearance for everything they don't like. This is about power. This is not about election integrity. This is the opposite of election integrity. Here's how it would work. Every state and local government across the country would have to submit certain voter changes. Things like voter ID requirements or prohibitions on ballot harvesting to radical partisan activists at the Biden Department of Justice like Kristen Clark, who has not been shy about her hatred of voter integrity laws. And by the way, spoiler alert, the Biden Justice Department would refuse to pre-clear all of them. Anything enhancing election integrity, the Biden Department of Justice is opposed to. Similarly, state and local governments that the Democrats don't like would have to submit any voting changes to the Biden Department of Justice, which sadly has been the most partisan and political Department of Justice in our nation's history. Mr. von Spakovsky, welcome back to the committee. Although Democrats are holding this hearing under the guise of caring about voting rights, it's ironic because they're the party that just attempted to disenfranchise millions of Americans.
So there you have it. Ted Cruz's take on voter ID laws and the battle for election integrity. Whether you agree with him or not, it's clear that this is an issue that's going to continue to shape our political landscape. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.